Hello and welcome to KitbashCarnage. So today we're going to take a look at this figurine that I got sent to me by Ramshackle Games. So I got this sent to me, it got sent around the whole world, got lost in transit, got sent back to Ramshackle and then got sent over to me. So this is, I actually forget the name of it, I'll link in the description. It's completely just gone from my head. But this is a concept build that Ramshackle Games was doing and sent to a client or a friend of his, and then, like I said, got lost in transit and ended up all the way back to me. So we'll take a look at this. There's a few bits, as you can see. We have some, looks like armor panel trim, and then we have a nice rocket club, and then a giant gun pistol bolter thing. Just lots of bits. Now I think this all goes together. I'm not quite sure because it all just came in a bag, but we'll have a look. Got multiple different bits here, so we'll take it all, tie it all up, and we'll see what we come out with. Hopefully we do this the proper way and we don't end up messing it up and butcher it too bad. So after getting a few of them bits and trimming them up, and now we're going to have a look at a base. My first thought was to take this base off this guy that I got in one of the Warhammer eBay lots, link in the description for that video. But then I realised that I'll have to actually kind of break the feet off the other guy, so I said I'll just make a base because I want to keep all these little effects, like the plates or the panels that are actually built into the base that obviously it came from printed. All them nice effects I want to keep. So instead of using that base, I'm just going to trace the outline of it so we have the size onto a piece of styrofoam here, and then I'm going to use that as the base because the whole plan is to put some lights in it and it's going to be its own standing kind of figure. So I don't mind making its own custom base just to give it that bit of uniqueness and a bit more character. So as you see here, I just outlined the base and then I'm going to cut it with my hobby knife, and we'll just cut around this. Now make sure you saw up and down when you're actually cutting this and don't just pull it, because everyone knows styrofoam tends to break up, as you can see, and it goes everywhere. It's not really the best thing to be using, but it's the only thing I had spare at the time. Trying to get XPS foam is an absolute nightmare here in the Highlands of Scotland. It's you order something and it takes nearly a month to get here, so styrofoam is what we need to use. So here you see me putting a little light that I got. I got these lights off Temu, about 20 of them for like £3, all different colours. So I'm going to stick this one, I'm cutting out here, as you can see, with the hobby knife. Just be careful when you're doing stuff like this, guys and girls. I'm cutting the inside out here so I can stick the battery pack for the lights in order so it can be hidden. And we'll get that into a nice place that we're happy with, and then stick the guy on top. Also, just a quick one, I'm trying this new editing style, so as you can see I've sped up some parts of the video here, so let me know if you like this, if you prefer it to be sped up like this, or if you want me to keep, because this video was an hour and a half long and I sped it up and edited it in a certain way to get rid of the, in my words or my eyes, non-essential parts. But let me know if you like this the way it's done, or you would prefer me to have it not sped up and just edited, or if you'd prefer it to be the whole 1 hour and a half hour long video all sped up. Just give me the comments below. I'd like to know your input, because at the end of the day, although I watch back my videos when I'm editing them, these videos are for you guys, and I'd prefer it to be in a format that you guys would like to see it in, rather than me just doing what I think is good and putting it up and then people not preferring to watch it because it's in a longer format or shorter format that they prefer to use. So I'm just filing all these pieces down, these little panels, making sure they're all flat and there's no bits sticking out, so it can sit flush against the armor here. Now, like I said, I think these are for here. They fit kind of well here, so I presume that's what they're for. And like I said, this is a concept piece, so like a lot of the pieces, be it not as detailed as others or thinner or more flimsy, it's just, listen, this is something that I got surprised with, and I'm very, very grateful to Ramshackle Games. Curtis, thank you very much. Please visit Ramshackle Games on Instagram. I'll leave the link in the description for that, and hit him a thumbs up and give him a follow. He's a really good guy for the community. One of the top guys I know of that, with a drop of a hat, is willing to help out the fellow maker community and gives us all into helping the community grow and supporting people in this hobby. So as you see here, we're just sticking on the bits. I do apologise for not using some type of glue, super glue, but the hot glue gun is much easier and faster to use here. Also, these resin pieces actually weigh a little bit, so I think the hot glue gun will give it a better bond to the other piece. Instead of using normal super glue, it may not be strong enough to hold that. So hot glue gun here is recommended. Well, I'm using, it's not recommended to you because I don't know if you guys will be making this. Who knows? Maybe in the future I'll figure out some. I have heard of a 3D scanner you can get. Who knows? I may invest in one of them in the future, and we could scan all our projects that we do and upload them on PDF files, or however you do that on digital software, and people can print them out and all that stuff. But that's all for future. Things will come, guys. Slowly but surely we'll get there. So here I'm just rolling up some milliput in order to stick the two, what I think is like jetpack type things at the back there, close to his buttocks. And then I'm rolling up some other balls here in order to make some type of like mutated boils type thing. It's just coming out of the armor, so it looks as if the concept for this guy that I'm going with, sorry Curtis if this isn't the actual lore for this gentleman, but it's basically I'm going with, he's a guy that he was an orc that was up in space in a rocket ship. He went out to do a few repairs, and the rest of his horde ended up leaving him behind, and he was trapped in space by himself and ended up becoming some type of a space pirate, and just went around capturing other ships and making this power suit that he can fly around space with. And you know, I just thought it's a cool concept, like a big orc boss who just has a rocket as a weapon, and you know, straps stuff to him in order to be able to survive in the space. So we just used some guitar string wire there, sticking in the boils or the warts that we're making there, in order to act as like tentacles or wires that are going from boil to boil. Like he's like a mutated cybernetic, whatever you call it, type of character, if that makes sense. Just use your imagination. You are your biggest critic at the end of the day, and you're only going to get as far as you want to get, if that makes sense. So the only creativity and inspiration that is stopping you from doing more is your own. It's yourself. Like a lot of times when I get a creative block and I don't know how to even get the drive to complete a project or something like that, I find going for a walk and listening to music, or watching a movie that's based on the type of thing you're trying to make gives you that inspiration. It can just click one day and you can just go, oh, that's exactly what I want. You know what I mean? Like, these things sometimes come to me in the middle of the night when I'm asleep, and I have to wake up and write these down quickly, or I have to get up and actually build the project. So I've plenty of times I've got up at 1 in the morning and started building projects and stayed up till 5 in the morning and then had to go to work and so on. This is the creative nature, and these are the times when you really love your hobby, when that idea just comes into your head and all you can do is want to build it. You can't stop thinking about it. You know, this is what I love about the maker creator community, is bringing your inspiration and your imagination to life and seeing the things in your head actually come into reality. So while I was looking at this guy, I was like, well, he's going to be in space. And if you're in space and the slightest bit of thrust, so bear with me while I try to say this, thrust, like you blow even, you do anything like that, a fire extinguisher, and the propulsion from that, and you go miles. So with just rockets, this guy is just going to be going forward constantly. He's never going to stop. Perpetual motion is just going to keep him going. So I thought he needs some type of wings or rudders or something to make him give direction, you know what I mean? So these little wings that we added on here are just for that. It's basically to give the look, to make it look like he can actually move from side to side, or he has some type of control in the suit. It's not just like a rocket strapped to him, if that makes sense. And then here we're just sticking some pieces of milliput mold. It's basically a milliput mold of a street that I had. Just little slabs of stones. Also, I have a little ornate design there done with milliput. I tend to just do little bits and bobs and stick them in a box for situations exactly like this, where I can use these in order to add some character to the base. And also, you will see that I interlock the wire of the lights in between all these cracks, so it gives a place for it to hide, sit lower into the base and not be just on top of the base, because we need to paint all this and prime it. So this way the wires will be hidden along the cracks, and we won't paint straight over them. There'll be little bits of paint here and there, but at least we won't cover every single bulb individually, if it was lying on top, that's what would happen. But now that we can interlock it and interweave it in these little cracks and crevices, we mightn't have as big of an issue with every single light being covered. So here I'm making some bullets. I looked at this gun and I thought, do you know what? Wouldn't it be cool to have bullets actually coming, firing out of the gun, so it looked like there's bullets firing out? It gives it just that bit more character. It looks cool. Rule of cool is where we go, guys. When in doubt, do stuff that looks cool. You can't go wrong with that. If you think something looks cool and you do it, you still think it looks cool afterwards, well, at the end of the day, like I said, this is your project. Your biggest critic is you, and if you think it's cool, well, then that's a win-win-win. So here I'm just adding these little circular kind of metal bits. So I bought some jeweler's chain, and in that I got these little hooks. I'm guessing they're for sticking pendants or something on, but I'm just using them here just as little, it's like rivets or just texture really on the miniature. So putting a few along the gun and a few on the wings, just to break it up that bit more character. Now, so far this is what we have. I think it's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. A few more bits I need to add on. I'm thinking about sticking some epoxy later on while I'm painting this in the cracks there. I might stick a few more details on just to give it that little touch that I'm looking for. But this is pretty much what we're looking for. Also, all the milliput that we put down here, this is all going to act as like a weight. It's weighing down the actual base itself. So because the base is made out of styrofoam, it's going to be quite light and it'll be easier to tip over because it'll be top heavy. So this milliput is also going to help with weighing the miniature down and not making it as top heavy. I was also thinking about putting here the same concept that we're doing with the bullets. So basically drill through here and then stick some wire out of it, and then we'll stick some cotton wool or something around that and then paint it so it looks like smoke. But we'll have to do certain bits and bobs later on after we paint, because if we do it beforehand, when it comes to painting, it will all just get destroyed. So the likes of putting epoxy resin on the base here, we'll have to paint the base first and then we'll put the epoxy over it, and that will then give it more of an effect that we're looking for. So yeah guys, this is what we have so far. Not too bad, I'm pretty happy with it. A few more bits to add to it. Just I might stick a few spikes and stuff to it. So this is what we've done. We just stuck a few extra spikes and a few more details to it, just to give it that bit more character, make these boils look a little bit more standing out. We've stuck the bullets sticking out of the gun barrels there, and like I said, we have our spikes sticking out, which I think actually adds a lot of character to this model. It gives it that little bit more height kind of up the top on its shoulder area, because it was looked quite flat at the beginning. And like I said beforehand, we have a lot more to do, but we need to paint before we put the epoxy and stuff on. Thank you very much everyone for bearing with me, and thank you Ramshackle Games.